Sale vatos, welcome back to the We Are Change News Show, and of course a lot of people are underplaying the significance of what's happening right now with the coronavirus. There's other people telling us that this is just a fear-mongering campaign, but I wanted to actually make a serious video about why you should be treating this seriously, not because of the virus, but because of government incompetency, which is inevitable. We're going to get into that plus a lot more in this video that is sponsored by merchandise and t-shirts like this one, our special election 2020 merchandise, where you could represent your discontent for Joe Biden or good old Bernie Sanders. Don't worry, we have a Donald Trump t-shirt coming very soon by wearing shirts like this, which are great conversation starters in the street if you still go outside or have some kind of interaction with your fellow man, since everyone's afraid to do so. But again, I'm going to reiterate, you shouldn't be fearful, you shouldn't panic, and the best way to do that is to stay informed and prepared for anything and everything. Now, just jumping into the news, because there is so much news to cover, especially around the coronavirus and its significance, but again, we're just going to jump right into it. As the number of confirmed coronavirus cases has increased to over 100,000 people, and many experts predict this number, of course, to be much higher, as many people who have the virus, one, don't even know it, don't show any symptoms, and some people it just barely gradually affects it all, and it comes and goes. But one thing is certain, is that its cases are growing all around the world, as the death toll jumped to 14 people in the United States. 5 people in New York City have tested positive for the virus, and some university professors and researchers are laying out the trajectory of this virus, and they're predicting very bleak numbers, saying that in the best case scenario, that this virus will kill 15 million people and the global economy will take a $2.3 trillion hit. Meanwhile, in the worst possible scenario, they are estimating that close to 68 million people could die from this virus, while of course some countries' economies could shrink by up to 8%. Disastrous in any way that you look at it. But again, there are some important factors that you need to understand, and that is that the average person's probability of death with this virus is very low. It predominantly affects elderly individuals. As you could see by this chart, the probability of you dying from it by age increases significantly when someone is at the age of 70 or 89. If you have a pre-existing condition like cancer, your rate of death by this disease rises to 6%, which is still relatively low. If you have diabetes, that amount is the same. If you have cardiovascular disease, it's about 9%. And if you have no pre-existing condition and you're in fine health, you shouldn't have much to worry about, except for, of course, government incompetency, which we're going to get into in just a little bit. Also, this disease targets more males than it does females. And many scientists and governments are just bewildered to why many children under the age of 10 are not getting this virus and seem to almost be immune from it. Some countries have reported positive effects from HIV medications and vitamin C intravenously pumped into patients, but still, this is a new virus that is mutating and causing a lot of panic. Now again, the elderly are being significantly hit by this virus, as we've seen in Seattle, where a nursing home is being wrecked by this virus, and many of the deaths are coming from, as reported in the United States. And many of the families of those affected are speaking out and demanding answers, since most of them found out about this outbreak on the news and not from the CDC. Family members are not being contacted when their loved ones die, and many of them are accusing the government of covering up and lying about the deaths of their family members, which some of the deaths are being blamed on supposed, quote, natural causes. Now, again, everything is still unclear, even with the U.S. president's official visit, which Just moments ago, he canceled to CDC headquarters over, of course, coronavirus fears. And now he is deciding that, yeah, fine, he will go to the CDC headquarters now, after, of course, canceling last minute. And that uncertainty is, of course, making everyone else feel uncertain. This, as the government has failed to provide the 1 million test kits that it promised, which again was a major talking point by the government in reassuring you that everything is going to be fine, that they have all the testing kits, and they don't. While other testing kits that could prove if a person has the coronavirus within 15 minutes instead of days, which again put not only medical professionals but many people at risk, that specific 15-minute coronavirus blood test is banned in the United States because it hasn't been approved by the FDA. You know, the big bloated bureaucratic government agency that has a revolving door with Monsanto that recently banned intravenous vitamin C. Yeah, that organization still hasn't got off their fat, bloated, bureaucratic buttocks and approved a test that many countries are using that would help significantly deal with this new viral outbreak. The CDC recently stopped reporting on the number of tests conducted here in the United States, which of course made many people worry and panic. And now, of course, because of that panic, they're allegedly reporting them again. The Surgeon General is warning people not to wear masks, even though masks have been proven in Asia to show positive effects when it comes to stopping the cold and flu being spread from one person to another person, preventing the spittle and other particles from, of course, infecting other people. And again, they're saying this only if people are healthy. And again, people have this virus and don't even know it. So again, the Surgeon General saying don't wear a mask if you're healthy is just yet another disingenuous lie to cover up how unprepared they are for this, because they themselves don't have enough masks for the medical professionals. And instead of saying that, they're doing this, which will, in my opinion, actually hurt more people in the long run of this. Now, if that's not enough government incompetency for you, we also have the fact that a few days ago, a State Department official flew back coronavirus-infected Americans on airplanes filled with healthy people against CDC protocols, and them specifically telling him not to do it. Yes, the State Department put sick people on a plane filled with hundreds of healthy people, 14 sick people, even when told not to do so by the CDC because it would spread this virus. And now this virus has been spread, will be spreading, and will be having more of a significant impact on everyone. Not just the elderly with the virus, but also, of course, economically, which we've been warning about from the very beginning. We just created a new playlist with all of our coronavirus videos, and we've been very accurate in our reporting, which I recommend you check out if you haven't been watching those videos or if you're new to this channel. So yeah, expect more negative economic impacts and just absolute lunacy from the media, the quote experts, and of course the government, because no one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Again, it's easy to be a critic, but at this time we need to be hyper vigilant and critical of the government to hold them accountable for stupid, asinine moves that don't need to be made. And at the end of the day, with the backdrop of everything, we still have to remind you that only you and you only are responsible for, guess who? You. And all of this happens when, of course, you have absolute trust in the state and you have a big bloated government that is unaccountable. Like in China, where this virus most likely came from their level 4 weapons biolab facility that was also located in Wuhan. And while the Chinese state continues to censor information, arrest doctors and journalists for telling us the truth about this virus, while of course their production of our Chinese-made slave goods slows down, we need to understand and come back to the point that this problem is as bad as it is because of outright government incompetency and the state doing what the state usually does and covering up its own butt, which the citizenry ultimately pays for in their own pound of flesh. So yeah, that's what's happening here, in my opinion. If you think I'm wrong, if you think I missed something, if you think anything that you want to share with me, let me know in the comment section below, and I will respond to it within the first hour that this video is out. To be a part of this conversation, click the bell button. Maybe you'll get this video, but we are being extremely shadow banned because of just simply talking about these topics. The only information that you're allowed to get is from the mainstream media, authoritative, pharma-run, corrupt institutions known as the horse-stream media. Everything else is just being downranked, demonetized, shadow banned, and hidden from you. So you are very lucky to be getting these videos. And yeah, because you do, it's only up to you sharing them for other people to see these kind of larger messages that, of course, you won't hear on the mainstream media. And because you guys still do that, because you guys are still watching it, because you guys click that share button, this is why. Love you guys. Thank you again so much for watching. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.